Back then to the original question, or did you have another?
No, I really need an answer to the original question, which is introducing the budget on Monday night.
Right, I mean, I think we are where we are, and
Did we resolve the question about Crosstown, or do we all agree that it should be needs-based?
I would like for Susan Hoskins to weigh in. I
and
think
Mark's continuing to pursue it, but again,
Okay.
it's not gonna affect.
I understand that, but I
agree.
just.
We should look at a direction, or like Liz and Joe mentioned, here's the pot of gold, and you have to make it work.
But I don't think we should do that. I think we should say needs-based.
Well, it's kind of hard. It's gonna be hard for her to try to manage that.
Okay.
I'm just saying,
I know, but that means
Well,
we're paying.
let's-
We can lay out options for you. I think
Okay.
that what I'm hearing is we want to lay out options. Those are the different options. We'll talk to Susan, needs-based,
She's
and we'll put
pretty
some,
creative.
we'll put some options out there that we can
Yeah.
choose from. One thing I do want to bring out, since the Crosstown contract itself is going to come before council. And really, I think it's two separate issues. We need to make sure that they are. One is the contract to provide the service and what the cost of the service is. What we're talking about is how do we manage that service in terms of number of rides on the service. Two separate things. There's no reason not to go ahead with the contract itself, because I don't think I've heard that we want to stop providing the service. We just want to manage the cost of the service.
Right.
Except, didn't we learn that we're being charged more than other municipalities?
No, we're not being charged more. Other municipalities are getting
hospital,
reimbursements.
We're getting charged for hospital reimbursements
We're not.
We're not getting the same reimbursement that other people are getting
from the hospital, but
Yes.
Ride Provide charges us the same as,
No, Ride Provide doesn't charge us anything, the hospital reimburses them completely.
Right.
So the way the contract is written, even though it's a 22-month initial term, there's a clause in there that if funds are not available in the budget next year, that we can cut the contract short. It's also written in that the estimated number of rides are not guaranteed. So if we do implement some of these changes that are being discussed, it does not affect the way the contract was bid. So we've got two safety nets already built into the contract, so it shouldn't be an issue if we award on Monday night.
so how much is the contract? I mean, is it per ride? Is that what it is?
It's
So
per
how much is
ride.
per ride?
They maintain the same price as last year from what I understand, or from the previous contract.
Which
So
is
it's
like
about
12.
14.25.
14.25.
But we increase
Yeah.
the number of rides
Yeah.
per month to reflect
Yeah.
the historical data that we've received lately.
Because it seems pretty expensive, because that means $30 for each, like, round trip that people are taking. I don't know, it seems, I don't know if there's
Particularly
anything
now that there's been a change with.
that Uber
But
is.
here, I wanna go back though, just because before 10, I wanna give Mark direction. And I guess, let me rephrase the question. It's like,
Okay.
what are the options? So one option is to say, yes, we're comfortable. If somebody's not comfortable, what would you then see as that possibility? Like, how are you gonna
We'd
make
have
it
to-
less than 2.3%?
We'd have to go back, and I'm not, I'm looking at Sandy, I'm not sure if there's something we could do by Monday night that we'd have to delay the introduction. I think we wanna go significantly less than that, unless there's the only quick fix would be using additional surplus. That's something we could do easily, but we'd have to really look at the budget and try to figure something out.
And where would you look? I mean, what would you?
We'd have to go back in and, because we've kind of looked at everything, I'm not sure. We do have some ideas that we're going through, we're just not ready for those yet. I think there's some additional savings we talked about before in the health department, the potentials in police. That's why I'm kind of comfortable, the number may be out there, but I know there's some additional savings that potentially.
For 2017?
Yes.
So you're
Yeah,
saying,
but
we're
not
introducing-
12 months
No,
ago.
they're not
we're
yet.
introducing, but we're promising to try to make it even lower. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Well, it's usually a starting, I mean, in all honesty, like, this is usually the start of the discussion,
Yeah.
and then there's like a month and a half
Right.
of intensive work before it comes back,
Right.
so, I mean, we're getting more of a head start
We're a
this
little
year.
bit ahead.
So I think
Yeah,
that we
okay.
should, I think
I'm
that we
fine
should,
with
I think
that.
that we should introduce.
Worst case scenario
Yes, there
is
is.
2.2.
Yes, that's right, the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
is $90.
Well, it's not,
We'll continue to look for
we need to realize it's not 2.3 because there's the additions that you added on there.
Right, it does not
It'll
include
go
the
up to, let's say, 3%.
120,000.
So probably 2.5 or
Ah.
something.
It doesn't include planning board stuff.
Scott, since you're here, do you have any comments that you wanna make before we wrap up?
Well, if you look at the old surplus policy and budget policy, we constantly put the cart before the horse on this. And we don't go back and we don't look at what happened last year. And I've got a meeting with Mark and Sandy after this, I guess, to go over what happened because it doesn't make sense. But let's, at first blush, when you look at the actuals, what we're doing next year.
What,
we're budgeting.
regarding the surplus?
Yeah. And I hope that we can get comfortable with that because it's gonna look embarrassing if somebody looks at it.
What, Scott,
So what are you,
say?
what are
Say it
you
again.
thinking that it's doing versus what it should be
Well,
doing?
last year, the surplus last year went up by almost $2 million.
1.8 million.
When in fact, we had expected it to stay flat. So in essence, you know, if there isn't good solid reasons for it, we're raising taxes and putting the taxes in the bank.
Well, nobody wants to do that.
Oh, we still doing it this year?
So that,
That's a
but I-
big problem,
Yeah,
potentially.
yeah.
but let's,
But we need
to do a big
there's some,
save on that.
some answers to his
Right.
questions too, we
Okay.
need to have that,
And then-
that
But should
discussion.
it go without saying that if between now and Monday you decide to change the surplus to reduce the tax increase, we would all be happy about that? Wouldn't we?
well,
The only
we
problem with that,
we gotta
we gotta
do
look at it.
We gotta look at it.
Okay.
And that should be the first step, and that's why, because you gotta know where you've been before you can figure out where you're going.
Right.
Okay, but then why don't you guys look at it and then that might be a help.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is, okay,
So we said,
Yeah.
go ahead.
move forward,
Yeah.
where we
Yeah,
are.
the rest of the stuff is that we've been talking about the same things for years, you know, you gotta raise parking, stop looking at it, just do it. It should be, you know, based on, you know, 7-8 years now, it should be 20-30% higher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're subsidizing relative to where we are. And we have been saying for constantly that the library model that we use, where we give them, say, this is your money, you figure out what you're gonna do with it. We should apply wherever we can, you know, Suzanne Patterson Center, Crosstown,
It's your
Warner
money.
House,
It's your money, that's it.
because they can figure out better how to maximize the dollars that they have. And they can go out and find money if they know that they've gotta find money, because it's not gonna come from mama.
Okay,
We're
with
dead.
those wise words, is there a
One last
motion
thing,
to
Mike,
adjourn?
somebody ought to go out and do an assessment of how many people in the compost program are free riders.
There you go.
I haven't gotten a bill in 3 years.
Oh, you're gonna build?
No, I haven't gotten a bill in 3 years.
Okay,
I need to call on it.
You go today, you go today.
That's,
You get a 3-year bill.
that's kind of a red flag here.
It is,
yeah,
but you get a 3-year bill.
all right, let's look at that. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So
What?
moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
No.
Okay,
What?
thanks everybody.
I'll talk to you in a minute.